Hey everyone, welcome back to the IHC Craft Room. This is live number 21 in the Holiday How To live series, and I'm really excited about this. I mean, I'm really excited all the time when I do this kind of stuff, but I'm super excited about this because we're going to be using a bunch of stuff that I don't normally use. And the number one thing is this not so cost what's the word I want? It's expensive, okay? This wax is expensive. This one 11-pound slab is $83, if I'm not mistaken, before tax at Village Craft and Candle. So don't forget, I am an affiliate there, and you can get 5% off using code IHC5 at checkout. So you're welcome. And we're going to be using this wax today, which is super exciting. It's coconut soy, not just straight soy, which is what I normally use. And I'm really jazzed because I've only ever used this wax once before. I did like a test of both wicks and cotton wicks in the same vessels, and I used this beautiful fragrance oil called Grapefruit, which is so strong. And it worked out really well. Those candles perform beautifully. So I'm really excited about how this is going to play out for us today. Oh, and if you want to watch that video, Mary from the future is going to put it up in the corner right now. Okay, so before we start working on getting our wax ready to put in the water or the double boiler, I also want to talk about these beautiful vessels from Village Craft and Candle. They're new. They're called 13-ounce apothecary jars, and I just love them. Look at this shape. It is so pretty. I've seen these around in other places, and I'm just so in love. I think they're so sleek and cute and just a beautiful design, a different style, very different from the usual vessels that I use and that Village carries. So a really fun option. Have a look for them. I'm really excited to use these. So we're going to be making 2 of these today. And we're going to be using a custom scent blend. So instead of just using one straight fragrance oil, we're going to be doing a combination of citrus and sage and candy cane, a 70-30 split. And I'm going to call this fragrance Snowed In. Because it's all about that calm, quiet feeling when the world slows down outside your window. You know what I mean? When you're like sitting there with a book and the citrus and sage with just that touch of sweet peppermint. It's so refreshing and comforting. It's like winter mornings, you know, and you're like just sitting there quietly in your PJs and you're working on like a fun crafting project and the snow's falling outside and it's just you and your creative. Oh God, I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. Okay. So we have a bunch of stuff we need to do in order to make this fun happen. So the first thing is we need to get our wax ready. And since this is a slab, I'm going to need to cut it. Now, it is super soft, and it's going to be easy to cut, but it's going to need to happen. So I'm going to show you what it looks like in the box, and then I'm going to move this box aside. You can see how much I've used before. So I still have quite a lot available to me. So I'm going to move this box out of the shot so it's not bugging me. And we'll get my cutting board out. My fancy cutting board. Okay, this is going to be fun. And I need a pair of gloves immediately, because when I'm telling you that this wax is soft, I mean, it's like butter, like soft. And that is going to be lovely in terms of the pour and what the finished candle is going to look like. But getting it in my nails, no, sir. I am not interested. So I'm probably going to be going through a few gloves today, and that is fine by me. Okay, so we need both the wax and the scale because I need to know how much I need. All right. Now, let me get my scale. Here's my scale. Where am I going to put you? Let's scoot. I'll put it right here. Okay, that's good enough. I'll scoot you a little bit too. There we go. Bueno. So let's talk maker math before we start cutting and weighing stuff. So as I mentioned, we're going to be making 2 of these 13-ounce apothecary jars. So we're going to target a total of 12.5 ounces per jar, even though they're 13 ounce. And I'm usually, as my standard, a 10% fragrance load. In this case, because we're going to be using 2 different fragrance oils, I'm going to do a 70-30 split, with the 70 being citrus and sage and the 30 being candy cane. So in order to do that, we're going to need a total of 636 grams of wax, which will roughly split to 353 per candle. And then we're going to need 49 grams of citrus and sage and 21 grams of candy cane, which combined we're going to split between both, but it roughly works out to 25 grams of citrus and sage per candle and 10 candy cane. So this is the math we're working with today. Fingers crossed that it's going to work out beautifully. And we'll see how that goes, because I'm not filling this vessel up to the top. Around where this curve starts, don't forget we need, and then this cute little cork chapeau. So we definitely need to be conscious of all of that. So first off, we need, now our water is bubbling, we need to get that wax in there. So I just said I need 636 grams of wax. So let's start with what I already have cut. Okay. Now let me get my wax knife. Yes. Have a dedicated wax knife. Your family will thank you. Let's scoot you guys out of the way. And this is super easy to cut into, even if it doesn't really sound that way. I mean, you do need a little bit of elbow juice, but it's not so bad. All right, let's cut into chunks. It'll be easier. Okay, so remember, we are targeting 636 grams of wax. And I don't want my scale to fall asleep, because that would be very annoying. What did I say? 636? 636. Okay, we got to get closer. Here we go. Too much. Still too much. Hey, Yopa, we got there. Yippee! That wasn't bad at all. Okay, obviously I'm not going to put, I don't even know if you can see how high this is stacked. Let me move this out of the way, and then you'll be able to see how high this wax is stacked in my small pour pot. All right, toodaloo to you, coconut soy wax. Apparently I use you once a year. So I'll see you next year. Take it easy. Don't forget to write. Okay, you too, scram. Beautiful. Now, let's get you in here. And you can see, or perhaps you can't, how much this is overflowing from the top. So Mama didn't raise no fool. I'm going to take a little bit of this out. And as the wax melts and it lowers, I will pop these in. Okay. Beautiful. Into the bath with you. Boop. Oh, there's way more room than I thought. Tell me it already started melting that fast. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so you guys off to the side until it's your turn. Let's go ahead and measure out our fragrance oil while we're in measure mode. I always protect my scale and my tabletop as much as possible. So I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper and a paper towel. Parchment paper on the bottom, paper towel on top, paper towel to the side and to the left. Everywhere. Paper towels for everybody. Okay, so we need 49 grams of citrus and sage. Before I pour this, let's talk a little bit about this fragrance oil. Citrus and sage has top notes of raspberry, orange zest, and bergamot. The mid is eucalyptus, sage, and thyme. I never say that word right. And the base is red cedar, pine needles, and musk. Oh my gosh, this is going to smell so. I've smelled this before, but I haven't in a while. So I'm excited about that. Okay, well, I'll do candy cane after. So I just said we need 49 grams of this. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Oh, come on. Hurts my feelings every time. It's okay. I'm going to use Penelope the pipette, and we'll just get one in there. Just need one more gram. There we go. Opa. 49. Ooh, ooh. Okay. You go away. You put your hat back on, and I'm going to clean the top of this because I definitely don't want any issues with moss citrus and sage getting on anything. Now, I have much room in here, so we're going to pop these in. Wait. Don't splash. Have some decorum. Oh my. As soon as I say that, I totally lost control of the wax. Okay. Now, we need 21 grams of candy cane fragrance oil. So before we do that, let's talk about candy cane. Candy cane is a much simpler scent profile than the citrus and sage. It has the top note of wintergreen, the mid note of peppermint, and the base of vanilla and sugar. You sound delicious. And we need 21 grams. So let's get that going. I suspect Penelope shall be making yet another appearance. Oh, I'm a little over, and there's nothing I can do about it because I've mixed them together. So we're just going to live with it. It's not a big deal. 22 instead of 21, I can live with. All right, so we've got our fragrance oils. I'm going to just put this off to the side a little bit. Very good. So we don't have to measure anything else. So this scale can ski-daddle. We appreciate your assistance. And I am going to go ahead and start preparing my wicks and my vessels. Vessels. There's more than one. Okay, did I bring a marker? Yes, I did. Okay, so for today's project, we're going to be using Crackling Wood Wicks Large. Now, these are called something different on Village Craft and Candles website. They changed the name not too long ago, but I still have these from back then, so whatevs. But you can find them on their website, and it will tell you if they're the large or not. These ones, wood boosters, because they have a crackle. Sounds like a little mini fireplace, and j'adore. Very, very, very cute. And cozy. It really gives you like that cozy vibe. It's a good time. So we're going to be using our large crackling wood wicks, and I am going to use a couple of wick stickums to stick them inside. Now, this vessel has this really cute top, right? Like this rounded shoulder look, but it also means that Mary's big man hands don't fit in there. So it's muy importante that when we put the wicks in, I'm getting them to the right spot. How are we doing over here? Everybody's okay? Cool, cool, cool. Actually, I can bring this back in a little bit. Here we go. There you go. So you can watch it melt. All right. So what I generally do with wood wicks is I try to cut them before I place them. And that's because I find it a lot more difficult to trim down a wood wick when it's already in a cured candle. And in this type of vessel with this really tight opening, it's going to be even harder than usual. So I'm definitely going to be doing that today. Hey, chill out. You're getting too rowdy. Controla. We talked about decorum already. Don't make me talk to you about it again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this wood wick into this wick clip, which is never easy. So you got to use a little elbow grease again. Okay, and I want it to be really centered on the wick itself and pushed all the way down. We'll do the same with this guy. Oh, that was so much easier. Okay. Now we're gonna have them on top of the wick stickums, but even still, I want to get a sense of where I want this wick to be. So from my perspective, I want to remember that we've got this cork lid that's coming down about a 1/4 inch. I'm going to have my wax to about here, to about the shoulder. And we don't want the wick to be very high. So I'm going to actually cut it where I think I want it to be. So if the curve is here and I'm going to pour it there, I'm going to probably cut it right here. And remember that the wick stickum has a tiny little bit of height to it as well. So it'll make it a little bit higher than what I'm cutting. Hey, beautiful. Okay, can you see? It's kind of, actually, that's pretty straightforward, right? Just above the shoulder curve. And we'll do the same thing with this guy. I'm actually just gonna try to be smart about it and save myself of the effort. Beautiful. All right, you guys, ciao, ciao. And we are going to go ahead and put these in. Our wax is melting very nicely. I had to turn the heat down because the party was hopping and someone was gonna call the cops. All right. So I don't normally do this, but again, we talked about the whole man hand and I can't fit it. I want to make sure I don't miss my target. And I'm also going to mention that these wick stickums understand their job very well and can be a little too aggressivo in their attachment. So once you place it, odds are you're not going to be moving it again. And scraping it out if you can't reach the bottom is not going to be fun. So what I'm going to do is put a little dot with my marker here where I think the center of this is. That looks centerish to me. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah. And the jar kind of helps because it has a little bit of a center point. That's a little too low. Maybe right here is better. Let's make it a big one. All right, that's good. Make this one bigger. It's going to wipe off most likely, but it's just so that I have somewhere to target now. I'm going to wipe off the bottom of these clips so you can scram. I don't need you till later. Just in case there's a little bit of dirt and debris, I want to make sure that it's not going to interfere with the wick stickum. We want these guys to be besties. All right. Let's do this one. Beautiful. Je suis. How do you say pleased in French? Why is that word not coming to me? Feliz, I guess. I don't know. All right. So same deal. We're going to take the bottom or the top off of this wick stickum. Now, if you don't have wick stickums, you don't need to use wick stickums. Basically, they're just round double-sided tape. So you could use a little bit of double-sided tape. You could use a little bit of hot glue. A lot of people do that as well. I've also heard of people putting a little layer of melted wax and then just propping their wick in there. That one makes me nervous, and I've never done it personally, but I've heard it's done. All right. I'm pretty pleased with the placement of both of these. So even though I told you that when you put that in, it's going to immediately like adhere, I'm still going to push them down because, hello, my name is Mary, and I have a living fear of floating wicks. And also, FYI, I'm extra. So we embrace things. You know what I'm saying? All right. Our vessels are ready. How's our wax doing? Not bad. We're almost there. Okay. So we're in good shape here. We're just waiting for this wax to finish melting. So while we wait for it, let's have a little chat about this wax because I as I mentioned earlier, it is a pricey wax. And it actually is a beautiful, like I said, buttery, smooth feeling tactile wax. And it's a premium composition. It's specially blended out of virgin coconut oil and soy oil. So that makes it renewable. It's like derived from constantly replenishing agricultural products like coconuts and soybeans. So that's a huge deal. It's like a high quality, sustainable wax. It's beautiful, and that's part of the reason why it's a premium cost. It also contains a really small amount of highly refined food grade paraffin wax. So they do that to boost the fragrance, right? So you get better dispersion and stability, more so than if you had just the 100% natural waxes. How's the wax doing? Oh, we're getting close. Where's my temperature again? Get over here. Okay, so the other thing about this wax that's super cool is that it's got like nothing in it in terms of toxins. It's toxin free, it's gluten free, it's paraben free, it's phthalate free. If it was free, on top of all this free, girl, you don't even know. You don't even know. And all of these are FDA approved waxes that are blended into this. So if you're concerned about that or any of the stuff that I just mentioned, this wax is definitely something you should look into. Now, it does melt at 122 degrees Fahrenheit, but we want to get the actual melted wax temperature all the way up to around 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. And the reason for that is because we're going to combine it with fragrance oil. And we want the wax to be at this high temperature because the wax's molecular structure needs to be open in order for it to fully blend with the oil and bind together and lock into place. That's what's really going to give you that beautiful scent throw. Ooh. Okay, we are fully melted. What temperature? 180. Didn't I say 180 to 190? Beautiful. I'm going to let this bubble for a couple more seconds. I'd love for it to bump up a couple degrees. And it'll give me a chance to finish what I was saying about this wax. So, yeah, you want it to be about 180 to 190 before you melt in or mixing your fragrance oil. So we're going to totally do that. Now, this can hold up to 12% fragrance load. I'm only going to do 10% because that's usually what I do on my channel. I like a strong fragrance load, but I don't want to max this out because I really want this to be a lovely, lovely candle. And I don't want to run the risk of having that little bit of fragrance along the top because it didn't blend well. Why did you go less? Get a little warmer, guys. Toast stick time. All right, calm down. The water's getting a little aggressive. I don't want to get any water in here, so scoot. So the last thing about this that is so awesome about this wax is it's considered a single pour wax, which means you're not going to have to worry about repouring your tops because it's probably going to give you a super smooth top. It's made for that purpose. And it has an insane cure time. Regular soy wax is 7 to 10 days. I always say 10. But this kind of wax, coconut soy, is actually only 3 days, 72 hours. All right, it's not going any higher than 181, and I'm impatient. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Let me grab a couple of pot holders. All right. It is time. Okay. Woo, woo. Okay, I'm going to move this out of here because Mary is accident prone. So, toodaloo to you, hot water. And you too, ski daddle. Merci. Okay, we're ready to party over here. Let's see what temperature. 182. Hey, I said 80 to 90, and 182 is right in the sweet spot. So I'll put on my gloves. Since I used wood wicks, I'm not using any wick centering tools. I don't have to worry about that. So that's one less thing. Now I am going to tell you some of my number 1, number 2, number 3 rules of candle making. The first is always have a lot of paper towels handy because it's super helpful. The second is clean as you go. It'll make your life easier. Okay, here we go. Fragrance oil. Boom. Woo! We just made our own custom blend. Snowed in. 70% citrus and sage, and 30% candy cane. I'm excited to see how this works out. I really wanted like a frosty citrus scent. That's what I was going for. Because I was thinking, you know, these apothecary candles are super rustic to me. Like I totally get these country vibes from them. But I also get like that old school apothecary vibe from them. So it's just a matter of what you're going for, you know? Okay, you, bye-bye. Okay. Now, it is currently 4:26 p.m. and I'm going to be stirring this for 3 minutes because you definitely want that fragrance oil and wax to adhere to each other and become besties for life. And I am going to do that stirring consistently, but not quickly. I mean, this is kind of quick. You want to try to not introduce too much air into your wax. But I mean, I'm not like whipping it. It'll be fine. And not that it matters, but I always like to stir from the center and work my way out. I scrape the edges of the vessel. I also scrape the bottom at all times. Does this make any difference? But your guess is as good as mine. If you know, let me know in the comments or in the chat if you happen to know. But it makes me feel good inside my heart, so that's why I do it. Yeah, this smells really nice. I feel like I could have upped the peppermint a little bit. I wonder if maybe 60-40. But I still want it to be like, I don't know, like a citrusy, frosty kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like I really have this image in my head when I was thinking, I want to make like a custom fragrance. What am I envisioning? Because you can't just make a fragrance that's just a smell because, I mean, there's a million of them. If you're going to make your own fragrance, you have to totally like be creative about it. Make a scene. So make a character. My character was sitting in a cozy room. There was a fireplace crackling, hence why I picked the Crackling Booster Wood Wick fireplace. They're sitting in a cozy chair. It's snowing outside. I'm wearing a pair of PJs. They're the comfiest PJs in the whole wide world. And they don't even have any stains. Like it is so the perfect image. You're sitting there reading a book. You've got a delicious warm drink beside you. I'm a coffee girl, so mine would be coffee, but whatevs. And it's just that whole thing. It's cold outside, but it's warm inside. And it's snowing, and maybe you have a pet and it's curled up on the floor and it's purring or it's snoring or something. I mean, come on. Tell me that doesn't sound like an amazing day. To me, it sounds fantastico. And that's why I called it Snowed In, because there's nothing I love more than when you have like a ton of snow. I mean, hi guys, I live in Canada. In case you didn't know, we get snow all the time. And actually this December has been a very snowy December. So fingers crossed we actually get a white Christmas this year because we haven't had one in a while. And anyway, my fave is when it's not a work day, not a 9-to-5 work day. And so me and my husband are both home. I don't have to worry about anything. It's snowing. We have a fridge full of food and all the time in the world to just chill and relax. Oh, get out of here. That to me is what's better than that? That's being snowed in. And that's what I'm trying to kind of grab with this candle. Let's hope this scent kind of brings that forward. All right. It's 4:29. She rambled for 3 minutes. Is anybody surprised? Not me. All right. It's time to pour. Okay. Remember what I said about cleaning as you go. I'm not going to need this stir stick anymore. Okay, so before I start pouring, again, I'm going to remind you where we're pouring to because you can't see me, but I'm going to put my face level with this vessel to make sure that I hit the right spot, the right area, the right spot. So I'm trying to go right where this curve starts so that I'm giving myself a 1/4 inch of wick and nothing else. Like I don't want anything. I don't want to accidentally over pour my wick. That's the concern when you cut your wick ahead of time, like I did. So you definitely have to be aware. Let's move you out of the way. Here we go. I'm trying to pour slowly. I'm also trying not to touch the vessel or the wick. It doesn't really matter if you pour the wax over the wick. I mean, ultimately it'll burn off, but if I can avoid it, I'd like to. All right. That is a 1/4 inch. You'll have to take my word for it because I can't tip it now. Let's see if my calculations were good. You can see that I'm taking my time to pour this. I highly recommend you do the same when you're pouring your candles. It helps you be more precise, but more than that, it helps you, again, not introduce any extra air into your wax if you can avoid it. Okay, here we go. It's the moment of truth. Let's see. Oh, I'm very close. But I'm over. I'm over by a bit. I'm not putting one more drop of wax in there. So we have Mary's trusty backup. Boop, 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 boop. We're going to make some melts. And because I want to know how much I was off, I'm going to do it on top of a scale. So we'll start with these little hearts. So this is an IHC quick tip. When you are pouring candles, have a mold handy. It can be any mold you want. But when you are over in wax, you can make yourself some pretty little melts. There's not much left. Let's see. So now, does that mean that my formula was off and I made too much wax? Not necessarily. It could very well be that I cut my wicks a little too short. That's 29 grams. So in theory, I could drop this by a combined total of 30 grams, let's say, to get it to be more accurate to what I want for these vessels. But I'm going to repeat, it really does matter in terms of where I've put the wick. And I don't want to forget that I need room for my lid. So I'm pleased with that. I'm happy to have a couple of melts. And to me, this is bueno. I consider this a win. So let's scoot these guys off to the side because in case you don't know this, when Mary does a live, I always prepare a couple ahead of time so we can go all the way through the candle making experience from melting to curing and to finalizing our scoot, 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 scoot. Gently. These are gonna solidify so fast that I'll probably be able to take them out of the molds before we're even done what we're about to do. Okay. So scoot you out of here. Doodaloo. All right. So I'm gonna take my gloves off because they are annoying AF. Lord. To those of you who wear gloves all day as part of your 9-to-5 profession, I feel bad for you. All right. I poured these earlier this week. What do you think? Cute, right? With the little hat? With that lid? I love it. Let me show you with something white behind it so you can see the wick and the lid together. Looks cool, right? To me, this really has a rustic flair. Now, I got a little bit of wax on the edge here when I poured this one. And I don't like it. Now, we're going to have a close-up look at these candles, which you may not be able to do, but don't worry. I am a chatty girl and it all to you. So as you recall, when we were talking about this wax, I talked about it being single pour, and that's because it's meant to have a smooth top and eliminate the need for a second pour. It's also really good for frosting and wet spots. So I can't tell you how smooth this top is. It is crazy, crazy smooth. Oh my God, and so soft. Not like soft, like push your finger into it and leave a fingerprint soft, but like smooth, super, super smooth. That came out really nice. No wet spots at all. And again, this is another feature of this Virgin Coconut Soy Wax. It's made for containers. It is not made for anything like pillars or things like that. You definitely want it to be for containers or melts, like the ones we just talked about. And that's because this really does have that superior jar adhesion, and it's consistently smooth and has a beautiful surface finish. Man, I can't tell you how smooth that is. No frosting anywhere either. I wonder how much of this is just that inclusion of the coconut versus just straight soy. And let's not forget that little bit of paraffin that's in there, that food grade paraffin. Man, they are stunners. So, so pretty. Okay. So I'm going to do these like a rustic gift. I'm going to wrap them up, and I'm going to show you a great way that you can gift these to somebody, whether it's a friend or a loved one, or maybe you're going to someone's house and you want to bring a hostess, or I don't know, what is a PC word for hostess? I don't think there is one. A host gift? So what we're going to do is I'm going to wrap this in paraffin. No, I'm not going to wrap it in paraffin. I'm going to wrap it in cellophane. Santa Maria. Okay. What I'm going to do is go 2 or 3 inches above. Oh, wait. Don't do that yet, Mary. Let's not forget, if you gift anything to anybody that you have made that they are going to consume in their home, or they're going to use it in any way, maybe you made a face scrub, maybe you made a body scrub, maybe you made a candle, always put a warning label, okay? Now, you can pick up some of these. Village Craft and Candle sells a couple, but you really don't need to buy them. Buy yourself some labels. They will go a long way when you make things at home. And then go online and look for a warning, and you'll be able to get all kinds of different warning labels. And if you're here in Canada, getting some that are bilingual, that would be a great idea as well. So you can get a much bigger label and really put a lot of detail in it. This label actually tells you about keeping the wick trim down to 1/4 inch to prevent smoking and soot buildup. It talks about not moving the candle when the wax is hot. Like, this is a great label. And I did get these ones from Village Craft and Candle. But like I said, you can get them from anywhere and make your own. I should make my own and make them funny. Be like, don't be a fool. Trim your wick. Except you can't use an accent when you're using a label, is all I'm saying. Amy. Oh, this is great news. For those of you who can't see Amy's comment, she said she's a first-time watcher and I am hooked. I'm going out and getting everything to make candles. Thank you so much for being a great teacher. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you so much. You have no idea. You just made my day. You really, really did. Thank you. Okay, cellophane. So we've put our labels on the bottom. Now, you could also put 2 labels on the bottom, or put a label on the side or on your cork lid if you wanted to name this. Remember, Snowed In. Come on, great name, just saying. You could totally make yourself a beautiful label and put it on there. But I don't have any problem leaving this beautifully, gorgeously simple and rustic. I'm going to go. Oh, I just hit that. Are you okay, bro? Stay controlled. Everything's fine. I'm going to go about, what is that, 10 inches from the top of the lid. And we're going to cut this cellophane. We're going to put my scissors. I'm going to cut this cellophane real quick. Should have done this the opposite way so that I was holding, you know what? Don't be silly. I'm going to turn it and make my life easier. There we go. Atta girl. using your noggin. Give this a quick trim. Beautiful. That was janky AF. So we're going to have a piece that's a little funky. And I'm going to put this right in the center. Hold on. You're folded over. Which way? All right. Get it together, guys. I'm trying to not put this into the wax I just poured, which is more of a challenge than you'd think. Okay. So we're in the center-ish. A little more. There. That's right in the middle. Okay. So I'm going to hold it in the middle. I feel like it's in the center on both sides as well. So that'll make it easier to get that really pretty poof at the top. So I'm going to grab each corner first and pull that to the center. Pull that to the center. And try not to let it flip if you can avoid it. Beautiful. I just realized I didn't grab a pipe cleaner. Mary, that's okay. We're going to pull that corner up and this corner up. And now we've got all of them gathered really nicely. I'm going to pull upwards to straighten out this cellophane a bit. And then we're going to gather right above the lid. Like, get out of here. How cute is that? Okay. Let's straighten up the cellophane. Now, I'm going to use a pipe cleaner just to help me out, but we're not going to leave this pipe cleaner in place. It's just so that I don't have to stress myself out when I'm using the jute cord. So I'll just give it a quick twist. That's good. Okay, so now you can see what I'm doing. We're going to pull these up and straight so it gets even more. Wow! It's just like, look at my hair. All right, beautiful. Now, I'm going to use some jute string. And I've got myself what I call my bag o' berries. So we've got some cranberries. We've got some berry picks. Now, you could totally glue these on. And I guess I should, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna tuck instead. And that's because, first of all, A, I forgot to heat up my heat gun. And B, I'm actually going to burn these. So I'm gonna unwrap them again. We're gonna just wrap this one and then we're gonna burn them because we always do a test burn at the IHC craft room. Because hello, why are we making candles if we're not gonna burn them? I don't need any of these, guys. I think I might use this little. Okay, I'm going to be between these, so I'll go back and forth. We'll see. We've got a berry pick. This is way too much. Can I take a few out? Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'll leave you out just in case. See ya. I like the red, but I also have white. Ooh, this is kind of pinky. Oh, now I'm torn. Yeah, but the red just gives you more holiday vibes, right? Yeah, let's stick with the red. But keep in mind, whatever blows your hair back, I mean, it's yours. I'm going to take a long piece of jute cord. And did I lose my scissors again? Don't worry, I found them. Everything's fine. All right. We are going to wrap this around twice. I'm going to do it standing up because it'll be easier for me. So evens. I'll make sure these are even. I'm going to do it just beneath the pipe cleaner so that it's easier to take the pipe cleaner out later, which we're going to do immediately after I tie this anyway. Okay. So I'm going to wrap it once, crisscross. Then we're going to crisscross in the back again. Pipe cleaner. Get it together. This is not your moment. Okay, we're going to cross in the back as well and bring it forward. And I'm going to tighten so that it has a nice tight top. And then I'm going to tie this like a shoelace. So first, just a knot. I didn't even do it. Okay, there. A knot. Show you. And then I'm going to undo my pipe cleaner because now I don't need it anymore. Thank you. Appreciate your assistance. Now, are we still even? Yeah, beauty. So the option is we can put a little berry, because I'm just going to tie this like a shoelace bow. I love that look for jute cord. It just has that rustic kind of vibe. So we could put one little berry. I could trim these down or bend them out of the way. I think I'll trim them. Is this too much? Maybe just one? Let's see. Maybe just one. I'm going to try this too. These cranberries. I feel like you'd need more than one cranberry though. Because then it just looks sad. How many would I do? 2? 3? Let's try 3. Like, okay, guys. Like, learn to be more independent. 3 like that. That would look cute, right? Let's tie them up twice so that we can see what they both look like. Because I don't want to use more cellophane on the other one, but at least we'll get a sense of, if you were giving 2 away, what you can make it look like. I'm just bending these wires out of the way, but you could totally cut this once you've tightened them together. I just want the wire to be long enough that I can tuck it into my jute cord. That wire had all kinds of crap that came off of it. Hold on. Like, gross. I'm trying to make something pretty. Okay. So I'm just going to tuck it in. I'll tie one more knot maybe to make sure it stays. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then a quick bow just like that. That's so cute. Tell me you wouldn't love a gift like this from somebody if they came over to your house. A hand-poured, custom scent candle with this cute little, get out of here. How cute is this? I love it. Now let's take you out and we'll try the berries instead. Just to get a different look. Now you could also do like a sprig of, I don't know, some kind of green. Something green would look really cute as well. I really like the minimal look. Like just a tiny, tiny something. Like, look how cute that looks. With a bow, and then the string hangs down. That's so cute. I think I like the berries better than the cranberries. This is, straightening out cellophane is like poofing a ribbon. Like when I'm poofing out a bow, I could do it for a year and I'd be happy doing it. Okay, let's get these out of here. Thank you for your service. Beautiful. All right. What do you think, guys? Cool, right? I would totally give this to somebody. Okay. I'm going to take this apart now, and we are going to go ahead. Amy just made another comment. Always use odd numbers. I heard that somewhere. It looks awful if it's even. That's so true, Amy. So true. That 3 did make a difference. Did I tie this not too tight now just to make my life hard? I could totally cut this jute cord, but I don't want to waste it. I'll use it again for something else. It's a long piece of jute. All right. So thank you for coming to my dinner party. Oh my God, this candle is beautiful. Did you make this yourself? Get out of here. You made this yourself? Wow. Mary. Okay, so we are going to light this, but first, let's go ahead and have a look at the fact that, yes, these have cured already. So are they fully cured? No. I can feel the heat a little bit. So the wax is not cooled yet. But if I needed to demold these right now, I totally could. If I wanted to use my mold again. See? Woo! Man, this is soft. This is soft. What a beautiful wax for real. You can really feel the luxury in it. And as somebody who's usually the most, I I try to say cost efficient or cost conscious because it doesn't sound as miserly as saying I'm a tightwad. But I am. I try to waste my money as little as possible. You know what I'm saying? So sue me. All right, guys. This is exciting. We are going to light our candle. Let me get my lighter. Where are you, lighter? There you are. Hi, merci. Let's get you out of here too. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and light these candles. And unfortunately, you're probably not going to be able to hear the crackle, but just in case you can, I'm going to turn off my heater so that any extra noise that's around here will hopefully fade into the background and you'll be able to hear the crackle. I'm going to show you how high my wick is. Let me grab a piece of paper so you can see that better. That's a whole lot of paper. Okay, that's how high my wick is. This is just about 1/4 inch. And a little bit shorter would have been fine, but you definitely don't want your wood wick to be any higher than this. And I'll tell you why. If you light it and it's higher than this, even this might be a little too high, there's nothing to sustain the flame. It'll light, but it'll put itself out before it even gets a chance to fully become a candle. It's basically just a piece of wood that you lit and walked away from. So that's why you need it to be a little bit closer to the wax surface, because then the wood will work as what it's intended to be. It will be a wick. It'll use that fire, that fuel from the wax to sustain its flame. So that's why you want to have your wick cut down to at least 1/4 inch, possibly a little lower. So let's see. I want to see if these are too high. Do you see? You can't see this. Man, that's too bad. Is there any way for me to let you see how this flame is flaming? No, there's not. Well, I'll tell you that from the front where I'm sitting right now, the flame is about this high. That is a very high flame. And that's because this wick is too high and it now has to burn down a bit of the wood to get to the size that it needs to be. So knowing that, I'm going to try to cut this one down a little bit. Right now, this flame is insane. It is truly this high. It's creating black soot. You might even be able to see that. You can probably see the flame. I should get a mirror and then you'd be able to see that. So I'm going to try to trim this a bit. Now, see, this is why I wanted to cut it before I put it in the vessel, because it's a hard angle. Hey, I don't want pieces of wood falling into my wax. You want to always try to avoid having debris, whether that's from the wax. Oh, I'm really destroying this wick. I think I'm going to leave it alone. Wow, the massacre is real over here. Okay, but it is much shorter now. It looks like a hungry animal gnawed on it, but you can see that it's significantly shorter than the one that I just lit is. Now, the one that I just lit has an enormous flame, but it is a consistent flame. So it is getting the fuel from the wax. I'm thinking I'm going to blow it out. And now that it's crusty on the top, because it's burned, I'm going to take that bit off the top and then relight it. So let's do that. It's lots of smoke. This is definitely going to cause, I'm going to let that cool down a little bit. Let's light this one. I'm going to try to do that with a Kleenex instead of with my wick trimmer. Got one little piece lit. All right. It's really too bad that you can't see the detail of this, but basically I lit one little corner and it is slowly going across to all of it. Now, keep in mind that we're not going to get a tiny flame from these wicks regardless of how high it happens to be off the surface of the wax. These are large wood wicks. They are going to generate a lot of light and a lot of fuel and hopefully a lot of scent throw is what we're hoping for here. I'm going to I'm going to try to take a little bit off the top of this extra long wood wick. See that? I did that with a Kleenex instead of with my wick trimmer because I don't want that, what's that word I want? The wick pieces to fall into the wax. I'm hoping to avoid that. All right, I'm going to shut up for a second. So if you can hear the crackling of the wood wicks, this is going to be the opportunity. So here we go. Mary, stop moving and be quiet. Here I go. Can you guys hear it? If you can hear it, let me know in the chat. I'll try to bring it a little. You're not supposed to move a lit candle, guys. Okay? Warning, warning. But I'm going to bring them closer to the camera. Can you hear it crackle? I really hope you can hear that. All right. Well, we got a lot accomplished today, guys. Let me tell you, we have done a lot of firsts. Now, I have used this wax before, but it's the first time this year. So we're going to say first. I've never used this vessel before. It's a stunning, beautiful new vessel from Village Craft and Candle. It's called their 13-ounce apothecary jar. Once this live is over, I will update the description and put the link for this jar below, as well as this beautiful wax and these beautiful fragrance oils. I mean, this is going to be, I can't wait until these burn for a while because that scent throw is going to be for real. Like, I can already smell it, and these haven't even cured for very long. I only poured these candles a couple of days ago, so we're not even on day 3 yet, which is what the recommended cure time is. So I'm super jazzed. They came out beautiful. The look of them is stunning. I'm interested to see if the large wood wick is too large and if I should have done a medium instead. I have a tendency to overwick my candles because I really, really shoot for that full melt pool all the way across the top. That's like my #1 goal usually. That and a really solid scent throw. But sometimes that means that I've overwicked my candles. Like quite a few times I've overwicked my candles. And because of that, you end up with really aggressive flames. Right now, these flames are no joke. These guys are having a ball. Both of these candle wicks flames are about that high. That's a very big flame. So that tells me that there's a possibility that I didn't need the large wood wick. I could have probably stuck with the medium wood wick and potentially get to my vessel walls. But this is a test. I've never used these vessels before. I've never done this wood wax fragrance oil combination before. So I'm going to let these go ahead and continue burning for at minimum 2 hours, but possibly 3. What we always want to achieve with your first burn, and please remember this and share this with the people you gift your candles to or you sell your candles to. The first time you light a candle, it is a time commitment. Don't light a candle if you need to leave in a half an hour. You want to be able to let that candle burn for at least 2 to 3 hours, but no more than 4, ever. You never want to burn a candle for more than 4 hours ever. But definitely on your first burn, you want to make sure that you let it burn for at least 2 or 3 hours. And that's because you're always aiming to get that full melt pool across the entire top of your candle top. You don't want to end up with a rim of wax around the edge. And is that the end of the world? No, the candle's still going to perform beautifully, but it feels like an insult to have all this wax sitting on the edge when, bro, you could be melting and making my house smell amazeballs. Like, get out of here. So we're always shooting for that full, beautiful melt pool. And in addition to that, when you get to liquefy the whole top, when you blow out your candle and it solidifies again, you got a really good chance of having a pretty smooth top as well on your second, third, or fourth burns. So keep that in mind. That's one of the top reasons why you definitely want to let your melt pool get as far as it can. If it doesn't make it to the vessel walls, well, life moves on. But if it does, that's a score. But you definitely don't want, like right now, I'm definitely not going to blow these out. Once this live is over, I'm going to let them keep burning, because if I blow them out now, I'll end up almost with like a tunneling effect where I'll end up with a ton of wax around the side, and it's going to just continue to burn just in that little bit of a melt pool that I allowed to form now. So I hope that makes sense, because that was a lesson that I needed to learn a couple times as a candle maker. But this has been a total blast. We made our own beautiful blend called Snowed In, which is a 70-30 split of citrus and sage and candy cane fragrance oils. We did a 10% fragrance load on 2 vessels. It was, I mean, what more is there? We made it a full gift with the cellophane wrap with this beautiful rustic look. I mean, I'm thrilled. I had a great time. I hope you guys did too. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you're interested in learning more about candle making, I have a ton of beginner-friendly videos on my channel. If you enjoy live formats like this one, I've made a ton of lives in the last couple of months that you can totally cycle through, and you'll have a great time learning a bunch of things about candle making, just like I am. And if you like more of a curated kind of look to your lives, or I'm sorry, to your videos, I have a bunch of edited videos that run from like 10 to 15 minutes and a whole bunch of different beginner-friendly ones. So, you know, have a look, see if there's something that blows your hair back. And don't forget to subscribe so that we can continue to get crafty together. Toodaloo!